Today we're folding this little box. If you're here for ear training videos, piano tuning is happening at the end of next week, so some freshly tuned exercises will return the week after. In the meantime, some students asked if I could show my version of folding these boxes, since I make these to hold stickers, paper stars, little chocolates, or line it with parchment paper for treats to take home. If you're looking for a concise tutorial, though, there are plenty of these videos and blogs that already exist. My migraines are back, so I guess this will be a low-key sort of chatty edit. What you need is 2 pieces of paper. This is letter-sized paper, 8.5 by 11 inch. I keep a large box of papers destined for recycling that are still perfectly usable. This one's at least 15 years old. For anyone who actually wanted a pop quiz on Monday, this was entirely unintentional, but here you go. 3 questions, and bonus, the already folded box from earlier. I'll put the answers in the description. Okay. Step 1, we actually need a square, so I fold diagonally. And fold up the excess, which I will tear off, creasing the fold a few times to make a cleaner cut. Then fold diagonally for the opposite corners. If you already have a square, you can skip the diagonal folds. I personally like the look of this, so I do it, but you can start with step 2 directly. Step 2, fold in half horizontally. And open and fold horizontally the other way. Step 3, whichever side you want facing out, make sure that it's on the bottom. Now fold each corner to the center. This gives you a diamond shape. Step 4, we're going to switch it back to square mode. There's a middle line and we want to fold in half for each side. I do the facing sides and open, but you can just fold and open and rotate 90 degrees and repeat. Step 5, now choose one side to open the flap. There's a diagonal edge in this little square and the same on the other side, and you'll need to pinch it inwards so that those outside corners meet, and that will be tucked underneath when you fold the flap over and flatten it. This creates the side of the box. Do the same to the opposite side. I'm pre-folding the edges here to make it easier to pull the flap over, but same idea. Pinch, flatten, tuck, and pull over to create the side of the box. If you have edges that you cut that you're not really pleased with, this is usually where I hide the mistakes so that it's just hidden underneath the fold. Step 6 is to clean up the folds and edges, and there you go. I use this first one as the lid of the box because the base needs to be smaller. With a second sheet of paper, step 1, I do the same diagonal fold and fold up the excess, but I add an extra bit to cut off. Honestly, I eyeball the measurements at this point, but I think this is about 1 centimeter. I'll measure it in post. And I refold the diagonal to measure for the square and tear off the excess from the other edge. Then repeat the same as earlier. This gives you some extra folds on the bottom, so if you don't like that aesthetic, then you can measure everything out, cut it to size, and then fold as we did previously. All right, let's speed through the process. All right, let's see if it fits. And we're good. The corners should be a snug fit so it stays secure when you lift it. You can always change the size of the paper, or in step 3, adjust if you want the points to meet or not. If the points don't touch in this step, the box will be slightly bigger, but you might need to tape or glue the bottom if needed. In general, you can use tape or glue for the bottom if needed, but I generally crease the edges and arrange the middle overlaps. It usually stays with items placed inside anyway. These are just board game pieces, but you can lift it up, shake it around, and it's fine. It does its job. It's a little box. Ta-da! Last thing, I guess this is a bonus, the strip of paper from earlier, you can make a paper star with it. We make a loop into a knot. Be careful not to rip this. This takes a little bit of practice to get right. Flatten to make a pentagon. You can tear this excess tail, or I fold it inwards. Then wrap the long side around the pentagon and match the edges when folding to maintain this pentagon shape. Tuck the loose end in. And the trickiest part is pinching the edges so it puffs or pops up. I usually buy the strips of paper and look for ones that are thinner and longer for the amount of folding that I do, which is better for my hands. But if you have extra papers that you want to cut up, this is another fun craft that uses recycled paper. And there you go. All right, so here's our box and little lucky star. Hooray! Thanks for watching and happy crafting.